nothing against you from earlier on when you said you blamed your parents because you were too short. There's a big thing just now. It's good to blame your parents for everything. You know, I feel. And in some ways, this is an awful thing to say, I'm sure. In some ways, because I lost my parents when I was young, it freed me from that. Because I couldn't blame them. Because they weren't there. So I had my own thing to deal with. And so I couldn't say, you should have made me go to soccer more. I would have been a great soccer player if you had, pushed me a little. I didn't have that. So I had to say to myself, I should have played soccer more, that was my fault. So in an awful way, it was freeing. Because in the world that we live in, where I think people like to blame their parents for everything, I didn't have that. I was left with myself. I couldn't blame my grandmother. She was slowly getting smaller and smaller. But
yeah,
and everyone has their baggage, So I grew up in a council estate in Scotland, so I have that Scottish. Oh, I'm Scottish,
proud.
Something about that. I think nationalism isn't a great thing. I think it's lovely to say I'm Scottish and look at our great history, but don't be nationalist about it. I think that causes a lot of problems in the world. That my country's better than yours. So I kind of watched that. And then working class is another one. That's a real sort of chip on my shoulder that we've got to fight, we're Marxist, we've got to kind of, defeat these. And you put yourself into these groups. And I think these groups that you put yourself in causes a lot of problems in your life. So the more you can kind of just try and get rid of those groups and just kind of go, hey, I'm sitting in this room with these three guys and
great guys.
This is fun. Yeah. We're talking, we're listening. The more that the world can do that just now, I think the better.
Boy, when you just zone in and we're not goofing around, I was just like,
that's beautiful, isn't it?
Captivating.
Yeah.
No, I know it sounds funny, but I feel like I just learned something.
It is.
And in the 3-minute thing you just said, I feel like I'm listening and I'm going, you didn't have your parents to blame. But in a sense that I'm like, and I don't necessarily blame my parents. I let things go and I love them. But I in a sense, I'm lucky that I had that.
Yeah.
So always be grateful. Always just be grateful for whatever you had because someone had it worse. And this is life and it's only going to get worse or better at times, intermittently.
Yeah.
And but it just...
Nothing you can do
it just put things into perspective.
Yeah, perspective is huge, right?
Yeah.
But it's also another easy thing to say and a difficult thing to do.